Stacy, and we are with Becca Fitzpatrick, and we're going to ask her some questions today. Becca, we just both adore Hush Hush. Briefly, what inspired you to write about fallen angels?
Well, when I first started writing the book, I didn't realize that Patch was going to be a fallen angel. This was many years ago. And I always knew that Patch was a bad boy. I mean, he was a bad boy the minute I started writing the book. But I knew he had a secret, and as I wrote the drafts, those early drafts, I thought by the time I got to the end of the book, I would know what that secret was. But each time I finished the draft, I still didn't know what it was, and the story obviously fell flat because I didn't have a satisfying ending when I didn't know what this secret was I'd been building up to throughout the whole story. And I did, however, know that at one point Patch had been this great, upstanding guy, this really good guy. And as I kept thinking what had caused this fall, this metaphor that was in my head became something literal, and it hit me that, oh, he's a fallen angel. And from that point on, the story just took off. Once I knew that secret and knew what he was hiding, everything fell into place, and the story was easier to finish.
Well, it worked out nicely. It's a great story.
Thank you.
Where did the title Hush Hush come from? Because we can't find it in the book.
Yes, it's not in the book, and that's actually probably the number one question that I'm asked from readers and fans in my email. And so when I was looking for a title for Hush Hush, I was flipping through the dictionary and came across the word hush, and the definition of hush is to keep concealed. And I thought that was a perfect description of Patch and Nora's relationship in this book, because he's keeping so many things from her. And so I thought, hush. And then my friend said, hush is such a lonely, empty word. We need two hushes.
So me.
So we put hush, hush on there. And I thought my editor would veto it, axe it, whatever. But she ended up loving it and said, there'll never be another book that's called Hush, Hush.
No, I think it's perfect. Okay, Shannon and I both see ourselves in different characters in the book. Is there one character that you think you relate to the most?
Oh, wow. Probably a character that's not named, like that girl sitting in the back of the classroom. But if I had to choose one of the main characters, there are parts of V in me. I don't think I'm as obnoxious as she is. But I did always say, one of my college roommates always said, holy freak show. So I picked it up from my roommate, and I'm kind of judgmental like V is, and I'll say snide things about people when I shouldn't be saying them. Nothing like Patch. As far as Nora, I obviously have Nora's hair, or Nora has my hair, and I did that on purpose, not to make her look like me, but because if there's one thing I vividly remember about being a teen, it is hating that I had curly hair, and all my friends had this gorgeous, silky, smooth hair, and I straightened it every day, and I was very vain about my hair, and I thought, I'm not letting the characters in my book get away without making one of them have this horrid, huge, tumbleweed hair. So Nora and I are alike in that way. Well, now I'm curious, though, real quick, which characters did you guys think you were like?
Oh, what do you think?
You were like Nora.
I was going to say Nora, and you have Nora's hair color.
She is definitely not Nora. She is so V.
Is Shannon V?
She is so V.
I know, but I would have never, well, Stacy had to tell me they're teenagers. Should remind me that. But I would have never said, oh, so-and-so, she has so many guys lining up at her door. You better get at the pool table. Yeah.
Oh, yes.
I was like, oh, my gosh, she's so annoying. And she's like, that's you. I was like, oh, but I'm funny. I'm not annoying.
He's good. At least you didn't say Marcy. Then we would have been like, maybe we don't like you anymore.
Interview is over. Okay, is there a favorite part of the book, or a scene, or a quote maybe from the book that is your favorite? My
favorite line in the book actually got cut. It was in the ARC. It was the very last line, or one of the last lines in the ARC, and we ended up changing it in the hardcover. So I'm trying to think now, in the finished book, the climax was a lot of fun to write. There's so much adrenaline and excitement going on. So that was, I wrote that scene really, really fast, the whole in the gym and stuff. That was a lot of fun to write, so maybe that's my favorite scene.
I like that scene. I like this book because it's filled with lots of foreshadowing and intrigue, because I felt like it was very prophetic, prophesizing or what's to come, and in that I noticed that Patch, he seems to be very honest, and he may not have told Nora the whole truth at every time, but he never lied to her. Not that I can find. He might have been deceitful and made her phone not work and made the Jeep. But when she asked him a question,
he was
very straightforward with her. And he even said at one point, "Are you ready to be my female sacrifice now?" Something like that.
Yes,
that
in
was
the
honest.
beginning.
That's what he wanted. And she just thought he was joking. So is his honesty related to the fact that he was an angel and he was fallen, or that's just Patch?
Patch, he's really conflicted because he remembers what he used to be like a long time ago. And that was a really good guy. And yet now he's, he's a bad boy, and he's a fallen angel, and fallen angels aren't good by nature. But, sometimes people ask me, why would a guy like Patch be interested in a girl like Nora? And when Patch is around Nora, he remembers who he used to be. I mean, she reminds him of what he used to be, and that's going to be a constant struggle for him, trying to do what's right versus, the situation he's put himself in. Now I'm trying to remember what the rest of the question was.
Oh,
It was deep.
Was that deep? Did I sound
No,
really
she
deep?
was deep.
Oh, yeah, she was.
Just wait till I come up. You better.
very deep when Shannon comes. Okay. Paranormal YA books are all the rage right now, and there's a wide age range of readers, because you could tell from tonight.
Yes.
Not
that's
a
The
true.
teenager.
30-somethings were here.
Yes.
When you started Hush Hush, what was your target audience?
When I started it, I wasn't thinking about a target audience, and I didn't know a lot about genre. Like, I didn't even know a lot about YA at that time, and this was 2003, and my writing instructor, I was taking this writing class, he was huge into YA and told all of, the students in his class that we needed to go out and read YA books that had been published in the last 5 years. Because I was reading at that time, Gone with the Wind and Wuthering Heights and all these books that, had been published a long time ago. Great books, but he said, you need to be reading stuff that's been published in the last 5 years, and I really want you to read young adult. And the first book I picked up was Speak by Laurie Halse Anderson. Fell in love with the book, and I'm like, if YA is this amazing, I want to get more. And so I kept going back and back and fell in love with the genre. I must be really spaced tonight. I keep forgetting what the question is.
Well, what was your target audience?
Oh yes, target audience. So I was writing a book about a main character who was 16 years old, and there are adult books with main characters who are in their teens, but generally speaking, that's a YA book. And my teacher, who loved YA, really, he helped me shape the story, and eventually it did become clearly a YA book. But I'm happy to be there. That's what I like to read, so it's good that I'm writing what I'm reading.
Exactly. And so, has anything changed with that, with Crescendo, or are you still on that same path?
Same path.
Okay.
Yes. So
Because Nora is 17 in the book, right?
She's 16 in
16.
Hush Hush, and then Crescendo is the summer vacation right after her sophomore year.
Okay, that's right. She was a sophomore.
Yes,
Forgot
takes
that part.
place. That's
Okay.
fine.
Okay. We love your cover. We've gushed over it, and it's won, several awards from All Things Urban Fantasy. With that said, have you had any input over Crescendo's cover, and do you feel pressure to have another award-winning cover?
I do feel the pressure, and I think my publisher feels it too, because, that's a key reason that people pick up the book is they saw the cover and they love it. And Simon & Schuster wants to make sure, and I want to make sure that people love Crescendo's cover just as much, and it's just as, captivating.
Do you feel pressure?
No, that's great, because you answered my question.
This is
That's
a very
right.
candid interview. We're having
You're
fun.
very serious.
Yes.
We're
You
Xing
see
that out. I'm going to pause you.
Well, no, you
Okay.
answered the question. You do feel the pressure. I mean, I would feel pressure.
And did you ask if I have input into Crescendo?
Or
was that
I
not
did
part?
ask you. If you had
Okay.
input. You can
I
answer
did.
or not.
Yes, they've shown. I have seen earlier drafts of Crescendo's cover, and I've watched as it develops into where it currently is now. And I'm sure my publisher will ask my opinion before they release the final cover. Let's hope they do anyway. Guys, consult me.
Yeah, and if you're looking at girlsinthestacks.com, we'll take an
arc.
we don't
Or
have the same
ARC.
thought. Yeah.
However you call it.
We're funny.
Yeah, I lost my train of thought. I was gonna
Okay,
ask you
we're-
something.
okay,
Hold on.
I'm rubbing off on you here.
Need books.
Do you know when the cover is going to come out that you can release it, or is that?
I'm hoping really soon. I did see the latest version last Friday. I'm trying to think last Thursday evening. And there are still some changes that need to be made. I promise, as soon as I have a date,
Post it on
See you on
Facebook.
Facebook.
I'll be announcing, yes.
Okay, because we'll come and watch. And then, because you gave an interview to Jenny from WonderSweets.com.
Yes, I love Jen.
And I talked to her. Well, I haven't really I emailed her. And you gave her some hints on Crescendo, and you said it was going to be sexier, snappier, and darker? Was that?
Yes,
Darker.
it is.
Is there anything else that you can tell us, or you all kind of hush-hush? Well, there you go. That wasn't on purpose.
I have mentioned this a few other places, but you will find out what really happened the night Nora's dad was murdered, and you will see that scene in detail, and you'll find out exactly who killed him. And Nora and Patch's relationship will be tested because, as you know, the reason Patch fell in the first place is he fell in love with a human girl, and at the end of Hush Hush, we kind of see that he's getting himself into that same predicament again, so
I didn't even think of that.
their
Oh my goodness.
relationship
Okay.
is definitely going to have, they're going into the frying pan in Crescendo, if that makes sense.
Yes, that does make sense. Oh no, now I'm worried.
I
Okay.
know. I wasn't worried.
Okay. I'm sorry. How many books in the series?
I'm not sure. That's a really good question. I've never been one of those authors who knows
Like when the end is coming?
when the end is coming. You know, as long as it's still fun and entertaining to write, and as long as my readers are still enjoying the books, I hope to continue to write. But I also hope that when it needs to be cut off, that
That you'll cut
I'll
it
cut
off.
it off.
Want to go down on the top. Okay. Oh no, we have to ask the most important
I know.
question, and we have to hurry. I'm sorry. What is currently in your stack? Like I know because I read somewhere that you read a lot.
I do read a lot.
So what's currently waiting for Becca to pick up and read?
I was fortunate enough, so I brought with me on this trip Linda Gerber's new book, which is called Trance, and it's a paranormal that's coming out. Gosh, I don't know exactly when it's coming out, but that's one of the benefits of being an author is sometimes
Sure.
you get to read books early. So I'm reading Linda Gerber's new book, Trance, right now, and I'm also reading for the second time Jackson Pierce's Sisters Red, which is an amazing book. I highly recommend that. And it's coming out in June, I want to say, of 2010. I love that book. And Beautiful Creatures is
You
also,
read that
I know you guys are
one.
just mentioning that, so that's also on my nightstand, my stack.
Your stack.
Yeah.
You gotta have your stack.